Hi everyone, I'm Rodrigo Andrade, and in this video, I walk you through watsonx BI data config, data modeling experience in both ways, in a traditional manual way or also using AI to automate some steps for you. So in this video, you will learn how to create a semantic model, how to connect your data, how to enrich your data, how to create a metric, how to publish this metric in a metrics catalog, how during the conversation to validate if the answer is based on your metrics definition, and also how to edit this metric definition, how to create a new calculation and republish if you need. So stay with me until the end. Let's start. To access the data modeling experience, go to the left menu and click in Data and Metrics. I have several projects here, but I will create one from scratch for this video. Think about project as your workspace that you can work alone or you can invite others to collaborate. I will call my project Hello World. Now I will create my semantic model. The semantic model is where watsonx BI connects the business concepts, the business logic to your raw data. Is where the business modeling is done. I will call my semantic model my first semantic model. And now I need to tell watsonx BI which data source I want to use in this modeling experience. In my case, I will create a new connection. And then I will have a list of database that I can connect, including our lake house, watsonx.data, and I will select GB2 warehouse. And now I need to provide my database credentials. I need to give a name to this connection. I will call it my first connection. I will provide a simple description, connection for demo, and now I need to provide my credentials. I will let the screen blur it for a second. And before create, I can test my connection to see is everything okay. Okay, now I can create my connection. And now I need to add the tables that I want to use. So I will select my connection. In my case, I have just one. And I have a big list of schemas in my case. So I use the search bar to search for my schema. And I will select the tables that I want to use. I have only two tables in this schema. So I will select both. I can see the columns in each of these tables. And then I will click in Add. And now I will click in Next and I will start the enrichment process. The enrichment is where we need to ensure that our data has a meaning. So we expand the metadata, we assign business terms, we set relationship between tables and columns. So this is all the work that the data analysts usually do manually and takes a lot of time. In watsonx BI, AI will do this job for you. This process can take a while, depending on how big your tables are. I can anytime click to view the enrichment job. I can see the status that is running. I can click to see details. Look that I can see what is happening, profiling data, assign terms, expand metadata. So I can see everything during the enrichment process. I will return to my main screen. I will accelerate the video a little. Now the metadata enrichment is completed. Now I can just trust AI or I can review the enriched data and look that AI generated a display name, a suggested description, and also assign business terms to the tables and for the columns. For the tables, for example, employee tables, look the description. Okay, I like it, so I accept. I can also see the business terms assigned to this table. Let's suppose I want to remove one of them, so I just click in remove and I will let only two business terms. I can also see the columns. So for each column of each table, I have a display name, a suggested description, and business terms. As an example, I will click here in department. I will see the suggested description. If I like, I can accept. Let me also see another one. For example, employee name. Also a really straightforward description. So that's okay. I will accept. Let me see the business terms. Okay, salary, English. English, there is no sense here, so I will remove. So I can do that for each column. Let me return and I will click on next. Now it's time to generate the metrics. A metric is a core component of our semantic model. It's a collection of facts, attributes, and calculations. And the data team will create and publish these metrics in a centralized metrics catalog that will serve as basis for watsonx BI conversations. And if you are an experienced data analyst, you can create it from scratch and do everything manually in the advanced mode. But before show you that, I want to show you this option generate metrics, where the AI will suggest the metrics for you. So AI will analyze your data and will suggest a metrics definition that can be used with this data. And after create the metric, watsonx BI will also automatically initiate the enrichment process because the metric definition also needs to be enriched. I can see the details to see the scope that was suggested by AI. I can see the data from this metric definition, but let me return and wait for the enrichment process. Now it's time to show you the advanced mode. Here, as I said before, you can create your metric definitions from scratch, everything manually. I have my tables here, my metric definition. I can see all the columns that I have available. If I click in my metric definition, I will also have access to some advanced options. I can edit my metric definition. I can go to properties. I can manage filters, relationship. But let me return to my metric overview because I have more nice things to show you. Before to publish, I can try this metric definition in the conversation before to make it available to the whole company. So I can ask some questions and test to see if this metrics definition can really answer to this question. I also have the suggested questions here, so I'll use one of them. What's the average sales amount by region? watsonx BI generate an answer with a chart, with some insights. And I can keep asking questions here until I believe that the metric definition is good enough to be published. Before to publish, I can also create some visualizations, a visual representation of my data with the filters that I prefer to use. If I prefer to do it manually, I can click in build visualization, and here I will select the kind of chart that I want to use. I can add the categories, but I will use here the AI generated ones. I will click in generate visualization and I have some examples that AI generated to me. I will select 3 of them, click in add, and now they are added to my semantic model. I can edit if I want. So in this example, I don't want it colored by job title. So I will remove this column from here. Now I need to also change the title. And if I want, I can also change the properties like the color and etc. Now I have my updated chart here. Okay, I'm ready to publish, and now I will publish to my metrics catalog. I will select the metric definition. I will select the visualization that I want to publish. I will select just 2, and I will click in next to also assign the permission. I can publish as public or as private and also add the members that will have access to that. An important concept here is that this is the permission for the metric definition and all the contents of the metric definition. If you want to filter what each user can or cannot access, you can also implement a row level security in a table level. Okay, so let's wait while watsonx BI is publishing, and now it's ready. I can go to my metrics catalog to see if the metric definition and the charts are there. Okay, so everything is here, public to all my users. If I want to click in one of them, I can, for example, pin to my key metrics carousel. If, as a data analyst, I believe that this chart is really important for a sales manager, I can pin this chart to the key metrics carousel of this group. I can also see the data. I can review the access if you want to change something. So this is my metrics catalog. And now let me try my conversation tool. I will ask something, how are our insurance products sales performance? Note that I'm asking against all data that I have available to me. And you saw before how many projects that I have. So the user doesn't need to know where the data lives. Here's my answer. I can now click on show AI steps to see how AI achieved that answer. So as you can see, it's using our metric definition. I can also see the SQL that was used to generate that. So everything is okay. Let me ask a different question now. How many deals are classified as high risk? Now let me narrow down my scope. It's not mandatory, but I want to make sure that I'm using this project to answer. Okay, I have my answer. Let me see the AI steps again. Now, this is not what I was expecting. watsonx BI use the churn risk column to answer to that question related to risk, but this is not what I'm talking about. So let me return to my data and metrics and take a look again in my metric definition. I open my semantic module, go to my advanced mode, and let's take a look if I have any column that can answer me about deal risk. No, I don't. So I will create a new calculation. So the first thing, I need to give a name to this calculation. I will call it deal risk. And now I will start the calculation. So case, when I will use product type, so I will create a calculation that when the product type is mortgage or loan and the value, the sales amount is higher than 1 million, I will classify that as high risk. Now, if the product type is insurance or credit card and the value of this deal is higher than 500,000, I'll classify that as moderate. Or if it's lower risk deal. Let me validate. Okay, so let me preview the result. All good. So I will click in OK. And now I will also add some description to help watsonx BI to know when use this calculation to answer to a question. And now I will save and export this metric definition. When I export, a new enrichment begins. I will just need to wait. It's ready, and now I will test again in my conversation. I will return to my conversation and I will ask again about risk. How many deals we have classified as a high risk? And I hope that now watsonx BI will use my new calculation. Here's my answer. It's different from the previous answer. You can see. Let's check the show AI steps. it's using my metric definition, and now it's using my deal risk calculation. So you can see that you can anytime update your metric definition to satisfy a new business needs if you want. This is all for this video. Thanks for watching and stay tuned for more videos about watsonx BI.